Hello everybody, welcome back to this other episode of The Basic Concept. Today, as you've seen by the title, we are closing in on the last few episodes, and yeah, this is kind of a bit more of a yap video. The next video is going to be about prop firms. Again, probably in the advanced concept, I'm going to go way more in depth about prop firms because I want to go one by one, explain the rules one by one and the main prop firms that I've experienced. Of course, I cannot talk about prop firms that I didn't use. But today, as you've seen by the title, we're going to start and think about putting things all together. We talk about a lot of stuff in these videos. We talk about new week opening gaps, new day opening gaps, market structure, liquidity, fair value gaps, order blocks, inverse fair value gap, a lot of stuff that I actually don't even Fibonacci retracement, optimal trade entry. I think I kind of spoke about a bit of a rejection blocks, but I'm gonna speak more in the new playlist. But we talk about a lot of stuff, and also in the videos of the trade recaps, I kind of go through all the comps that I explain and that I use actually in my trading that helped me achieve some sort of success. Of course, I've been trading for almost a year, and I got my first fund last year, like 1 year and 10 days ago. So it's kind of a year, and I've been kind of in love with this process. I had a lot of hard times, and I still have them sometimes, but I just keep going and try to keep going better. And that's why I also created this YouTube channel, to share all the struggles, the success, everything, to the people that maybe see all the other YouTubers having like crazy P&Ls or crazy cars, or having in the link below course that they want to sell you. They want to like FOMOing you into joining their group, into their like super expensive mentorship. That's of course not what I want to do. If I'll ever in the future create anything, of course I'm not gonna be crazy expensive and not treat people as a sale, but treat people as someone on the other side of the screen that I want genuinely to help, and I want to give you my time. So it already happened to a lot of people in my Discord that reach out to me. I had long calls, long hours with them, and of course I don't ask anything in return yet. But yeah, that's it. Just a little plug on my Discord, my community. I think it's very good. And if you want to join, feel free to join. But today we're putting things all together. As I said, I mentioned in the first few seconds some concepts, and I wanted to kind of use this kind of trade recap that it's on the YouTube channel to kind of put some or most of the concepts together in this trade. That this trade was not as easy as you might think. It was a little bit more out of experience. It's not like the usual A+ trade that looks very easy. It was also a bit tricky day. The government still in government shutdown. There are news around the world. We're still all-time high. So it's a hard day. Okay, this was not an easy day. So of course I already did the video on the trade recap. The last video we talked about the first presented, and we use this day as an example. So to put things all together, what are we seeing? We are in a clear uptrend. This is all-time highs. We have all of this stacked low. So we're just creating higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher. We're still in a bullish trend, okay? There's expected some bearish PD arrays here during Asia. We took Asia high, so remember session highs and lows. We took first Asia low, and then we displaced to Asia high. We close above Asia high, and we're still trending higher heading into New York. You can see here, what is this? This is a 50-minute gap. So when you go into trading day, you first go on all the different time frames. So you just go on 4 hour. You can also go in the daily and weekly, but mainly 4 hour. You go to the hourly. You can go to the 30-minute, 15-minute, 5-minute, 3-minute, 2-minute, 1 minute. Okay, so that's basically the order that I said in the previous videos. And I can see here that we have, I think this is probably a 5-minute gap. If I'm not wrong, just go back to it. Yeah, this is a 5-minute. No, yeah, it's a 5-minute gap. Yes, so let's write it here, 5 minute. So in this case here we have this big 15 and this, let me put the mouse. Okay, so in this case we have this big 15 gap, and this 5 minute. So what do we want to see? So price opens, we're still clearly bullish before proving wrong because this is all-time highs. And in this case here, we want to see that maybe we can get into discounted areas to then go long, because if we still respect these bullish PDRAs as higher time for gaps, 5 minute, 15 minute, 5 minute, or hourly, then we can maybe take inversion to the upside. Again, this was a difficult day. It was not just clear, but we kind of see. So we can take trades out of these points of interest, or we can take trades towards this internal. So internal low, or we can take the internal high. So we can see here that we open, we take London high. So I want to see if, again, we can manage to close above and continue to keep going higher, or if we can, there is a fly, or we can, if we want to go down. So we start high, we start actual V-shape, but I'm not that sure of entering because we have this big 1 minute gap, and we close all the way low here. Yes, we have this low, but then we have a 15-minute gap. So to me, entering here, yes, we can go lower here, but we have this 15-minute gap that is holding, and this 1 minute gap here that held perfectly priced. We just bounce off of here, you know. That was actually what happened. So I didn't enter here. I was patient. Of course, take a trade early on, super early on, it's kind of risky. Then again, we respect this. So we also respect this one. I don't want to have too many drawings, whatever. We also respect here. So we go up again. Nothing decent, as you can see here. As I already said in previous videos, we want clear displacement out of key areas of interest, or into inversing. In this case, first presented, it's a very important area of interest. We don't disrespect it very convincingly to go up higher. We kind of go a bit, we go slowly higher, not that slowly, but still not well. And when I'm not playing, I was right. I was like, okay, I'm not entering here, and that's what happened. So price again fell back into it, and in this case here, that was interesting because we take this low and we tap this 15-minute gap, and I was okay. Now you can see that the bodies tell the stories. So the bodies are closing perfectly above this gap. The wicks just kind of go into this first quartile. Okay, you can see here half of this half gap is the first quartile. We kind of almost tap it perfectly, and we started displacing higher. So I was like, okay, again, taking a trade here on this inversion is kind of risky because there is this first presented, and price can just go to this first presented, respect it, and go back. Exactly what happened. Price wicked into this first presented and created this wick that took this high. And then after very difficult day, because it was just rainy. So you have to recognize in this kind of days the condition that it's not very nice. We have this first presented here. We have this 3-minute gap. So just price. When price, I see a lot of times, is bouncing between these two gaps, you just want to stay out until we close either up above or below. So we're just watching this gap. I was saying, okay, I just want to see if it goes above, or then if we go below and we go to the stacked lows. And that was my preferred situation, even though we're all-time highs. If we have convincingly, we can go all the way, but this is too big of a TP. I'm not a one that takes a 1 to 17R. So I was like, okay, I just kind of want this 15-minute fill, or this low, or I mean, the maximum I could go is the midpoint of this 15 minutes. So consequent encroachment, as the fancy people call it. And as you can see here, we kind of range, we go to the first presented, and then boom, we go again, not super nicely, but we react from this 3 minute. I'm like, okay, we're just gonna go back in the range, and then we displace with this single candle very, very nicely below this 3 minute. I was like, okay, this also, I think, in this 3 minute here. So I was like, okay, this is a nice trade. You take your kind of retracement here, this case here, because the candle took that, and you put your stop above the bodies, or I put it above the bodies, but it's better to put above this highs, the high intermediate high. And then price just went back into this 1 minute gap that was created here, and then respected perfectly. You can see the body respected the gap, and then boom, straight to the TP. That was this one here for me, because in difficult days, you don't want to aim for super big TPs. A lot of time I just preferred not entering, but if I do enter, I just take a small trade. But other people in my Discord were in that's the same trade, and they were like, oh yeah, they wanted to see a gap fill, which is a good. But in these days, I will rather not be that greedy and just take maybe, or just the target the gap. So the part above the 50-minute gap. I don't know how to actually call it. This is the tip of the 50-minute gap. And then what price did. Price went exactly to the TP I suggested, and then reversed back to their break even to go again back to this gap. Now it's very important. Wicked, took this high, and then boom, filled the gap. So the idea was right, and also would be agreeing with that idea. But in days like this, when price is really difficult and complicated, you want to be very conservative and take your base hits. So base hits are basically not that. This is like, would have been like 20 points. For me, it was even less, it was like 12, 13 points. So just take your base hits when days like this happen. If you end up entering a trade, don't be greedy. When days are normal and we have clean price, then you can aim. You can put break even here. When you reach here, that's what they did. They put break even when price took this low, and then you just get stop out of break even. If you don't use Apex and you don't have trading drawdown, that's not a problem. That's why also next video I'm gonna talk a bit about Apex and why I kind of, even though I got my payouts with Apex, I just want to kind of go into other prop firms, and then of course if I get a max allocation with other prop firms and then I have capital from other payouts, then maybe I'll go back to, of course, Apex and try to, of course, maximize even more my profits. And then yeah, that's kind of of course, that's basically a trade recap of this day here. Then of course, when you take your trade, take one trade. A lot of people suggest 2 trades per day if you lose the first one. For me, it actually worked out a lot, just taking one loss or win. Of course, you can take, after you take a loss, you can take a win and gain it back. But a lot of times, more than the others, you will probably take another loss. Not probably, but like, you could, okay? And even though if you have a good system, if you have a good risk, it would not be a problem. That still doesn't feel nice, first of all, and can fuck up with the mentality of kind of beginners. And it also did with me. And so that's why I just said, okay, I'm just taking my trade. If it's a win, good. If it's a loss, I just close the computer. So you just don't risk of kind of all the problems that all the traders have, revenge trading, going to more size, doing so many trades. Just take your one. And when you have more when you scale, when you have more accounts, that's completely enough. You don't have to make 30, 50, 60K a day. Of course, that's nice. That's of course a goal, but you don't have to like strive to always make more money. Everyone has their personal goals. That's also, I think, a video will speak about. Like, for me, when I started trading, I thought like, oh my God, making 1K per month would be crazy to me. It would be so good. When that eventually happens and you make more, you always want more and more and more. And of course, that's can be good to have an ambition, to have a goal. But again, a lot of people, a lot of traders that you see, they're super successful. They could be very miserable people that just always want more and more and don't appreciate, of course, where they are. Of course, I don't know personally none of them, but I can kind of see it, this mentality being really, really embraced by a lot of people in this social media era. And a lot of people end up not being happy about it. So first of all, your mental health and everything is above anything else. So I want to just take a few words to kind of defend your head, your mentality, your life in general. Life is not just trading. Your ego, your personality is not just trading. It's much else. Of course, a lot of people that you see just do that. And of course, that's very good. That could be a goal. But I also go to university. I also have another job. I will have to do this. Like, I have a lot of other things to think about, and trading is a skill that I really like, and I know and I see the potential, but I don't want to make it my whole life. I used to ruin my days or make my days beautiful, so now my goal is just to not care, just do my best, do the things that I know I should do, and just keep going. And if I can help other people in doing that, not asking them so much money for like basic advice, that's my job. I don't want to maximize profits and take the sale or like flex whatever, take a Lambo. No, I don't care about that. But of course, that's my opinion. Your opinion can be different. That's it. Mine is not better than yours or vice versa. That's it. I just kind of put all together a bit of what I think, a bit of the concepts, a bit of the mentality, a bit of psychology, and a bit of other things that a lot of people don't talk about. It's not just trading psychology, it's also personal life. And that's, of course, a suggestion I can give you is to read a lot of books, of course, the things you like. To me, reading a book a week for like a year and a half helped me a lot. Of course, now I kind of don't have time because I have too many things to do. But again, everyone has their own story. I'm trying to get through mine, and I wish you that also your story will be interesting. It's not always going to be pretty, but I'm sure it's going to work out well if you do the right thing. So again, a lot of yap in this video. Next videos are going to be a bit about prop firms, a bit of kind of an introduction to prop firms, and then we will go on into more advanced and each of the prop firms. That will be an interesting video that I wish I would have when I started. But for this video, that's it, and thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.